Good morning and welcome to Live from FirstChurch. My name is Anna Bundy Hagler and I am one of the pastors here. And this guy, my partner in crime, Roy Atwood.
I was like, was there a name? I didn't know how the introduction was happening.
I don't know that they need to know your name. Like, shouldn't they already know your name?
Yes, everyone should. Also,
Everyone.
I'm the fourth Roy Atwood, so there's a lot of us who have been sort of influencing the world.
People in the world should know your name.
Exactly.
Because it's not original.
Yes, I may or may not have said right before we went on air that I need a bra to help me keep my posture straight. And that's just for the audience. That's why she was laughing hysterically, because I'm so funny.
I need y'all to know that, like, a lot of what we do is structured. I wouldn't call it scripted. Nothing we do is necessarily scripted. But it is structured, and there's a lot of times that I have a structure, and Roy says...
So hell with that. It's more fun.
So anyway, we're so grateful that you are here. We're grateful that you are worshiping with us. If you are watching this live, we have Facebook and YouTube in front of us. I see a lot of you are watching with us on Facebook. Comment, let us know.
That's YouTube. This is Facebook.
Oh, well, a lot of people are watching on both platforms.
Wait, are you also on Facebook? Are we both on Facebook?
Now that's not our problem. That should have been our problem before we started. Anyway, please comment. Let us know that you're watching. I want to know, what's an interesting question to ask people today?
How are you going to spread the good news of our Lord Jesus Christ?
I wouldn't have gone that deep, but how are you going to spread the good news of Jesus Christ today? And if you are watching this later because we have clipped it and put it in the Sunday email, thank you for watching. We would still love a comment now that you've watched worship. We'd love to know how you're going to spread the good news of Jesus Christ.
We see the comments later.
Yeah, we do. I check them regularly.
I give them a little heart.
Oh, that's so sweet.
If it's good. If it's not good, then...
Sometimes you get a response back if it's not good. Yeah.
A little snark.
Anyway, I want to talk about how I've spread the good news this week.
Go for it.
Okay, I am in charge of our social media, for better or for worse. I am the Associate Minister of Communications, so that makes sense.
Does.
We made 2 TikToks this week.
Yeah, because we're cool.
You should tell them about the one with all staff.
So there's a trend that people do where they put up a camera and they have a question, and as people file past, you have to answer the question. A lot of sports teams will do it as they're like going out to practice or something like that. So we tried one this week about what's bringing people joy, and I thought it was pretty good.
It was good.
Result.
I wish that I could post the 12-minute unedited version because then you would see how many people went past the camera to not answer the question.
Yeah, then they had to go back. We made them.
We did make them go back.
I keep thinking of, all I remember is Emily saying some bam tamales.
I can't wait for my bam tamales
I know,
tomorrow.
and the way she said
and
it.
I was like, you know what? That's the most on-brand thing for Emily. I really want to showcase our staff and who they are and what they're doing. So if you have a question, maybe that's a more interesting question.
Yeah, if you have a question to ask the staff, put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. Say, I would like to see this TikTok question.
And if you have come across any of our videos on any platform, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, give it a like.
Give it a like.
Do a comment, if you will. Share it even.
Yeah. We already roasted these folks back here.
Because they didn't like it enough.
They saw it. They said, I loved your TikTok, but I didn't get the physical like.
We don't care about real world likes. We only care about virtual likes.
This is the one time that good intentions don't matter.
Good intentions mean
action.
Nothing. Exactly.
And then the other TikTok. So I taught confirmation today, which is our 8th grade students that are going through a journey to become a full member of the church. And I thought that I was very cool. Like, my ego was huge. And so I was like, y'all, I posted a TikTok this morning with Jason Kelsey dancing in it. And so I showed it around the room, and they said, oh.
If you think it's cool, there's absolutely no way an 8th grader thinks it's cool.
Anyway, lots of people on TikTok think it's cool. I just don't think that they're in 8th grade.
No, I would hope that they're not.
Right.
We're going to talk about Jonathan Haidt in a second, but he's out there saying that kids shouldn't be on social media until they're at 16.
Honestly, I think that children of tech company CEOs are the same way. Like, they don't, tech company CEOs don't let their kids on TikTok. That's a whole nother vibe. I don't know if we need to go there right now.
No.
But if you are on TikTok, you should follow us. It's at FUMC_Dallas. I would Thank you kindly. That was kind of a lot, but like I was really excited about those TikToks.
Yep.
It's a good day when I can like think creatively.
You're so creative.
Speaking of being creative, thank you. That was so kind.
You're welcome.
Speaking of creative, I think that this worship series, the E Word, speaking about evangelism, has really inspired some creativity for me. Like, some of those TikToks are like, how do we get who we are out there into the world? Well,
a lot of what the two of us do is trying to communicate our mission and vision and values in new ways so that new people can find it.
Yeah. It really is. Like, I love this place so much. And I know so many of you who are watching, or so many people in our sanctuary, they love this place so much. And so I think that other people should know who we are. And like social media, it falls in that E-word category.
Well, social media is also a very low stakes way of evangelism.
Oh, that's so
because
good.
Because you're not like confronting someone in real life. You can just, if you like, really, as we say, like, comment, and share, it'll show up in other people's feeds.
Right.
And then they can engage with it as much as they want.
Right.
I've taken to posting some of the devotionals that we do on Substack.
I've seen that.
On Facebook, and it's kind of finding people. We're getting more subscribers.
Yep.
People are finding it on Facebook, and it's a low-key way to just drop a little message that people will come across, a little breadcrumb.
Well, and it's also personal, because if you love this church and you're sharing things from this church, like, you're identifying with the good news that we're proclaiming. And like, I don't think we can tell our story enough. And so if something resonates with you and you can type up a 2 to 3 sentence explanation of like why you're passionate about it or why it speaks to you or whatever, like, that goes a long way.
Yeah.
That's like literally what the algorithm likes.
Well, and we're talking about evangelism, and you had told me beforehand that I should come with a story about that I'm good at something I'm good at evangelism about.
Yes.
Thank you, Landon, for saying that you love the devotional. We
oh
really
my
appreciate
gosh.
That. People do stop me in the hallway and they're like, I like the devotional.
Yeah.
And it means a lot to me because I need, affirmation.
Yeah. Well, it's also like nice to know that like what you're writing is like on point.
Yes.
For other people too.
So what I was saying was, you wanted me to come with a story that about how I'm good at evangelism or something, and I'm actually really bad at it. I think.
I love your brave, bearing your soul right now.
Well, because a lot of people, when people interact with pastors,
yes,
a lot of times they'll be like, oh, I'm not going to church lately, or I haven't been. They unload their guilt on you for not going to church, And my typical line is, the only reason I'm there every Sunday is because they pay me to be there.
Right.
Which is not entirely true. It is somewhat partly true. But
sometimes we respond like that to like level out their guilt, like to be like, oh, I'm not better than you because I go. But like,
it's also because theologically I believe that to be a good Christian, you don't need to be in church every Sunday.
Yes.
And I don't want people to think that they're all of a sudden a bad Christian or a bad person because they're not checking these boxes.
Right.
But I do think that I have been, as we've been going through this series, I think I have been underestimating the aspect of community that comes from church.
Oh,
and that a lot of people find, well, it's hard to make friends. It's a typical problem that people our age have. You come out of college where you're spending all your time with people, and then you move, to a new city where you might not know as many people, and you get busy with work, and then you have kids, and then, but even sometimes it's easier to make friends once you have kids because you go to things with the kids and you make friends with the parents, right? Yes. But the time right before then where it's like, where am I meeting people? How am I connecting with people? Yeah. Church is a really good place to do that, and I've kind of been underselling that.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, that kind of goes into the story that I was going to tell. So one of our cameramen, Aaron, is in my husband's life. They work together, and they've become friends. And I was also very chill for a very long time because Aaron didn't grow up in the church. And so I used to be like, yeah, like I go to church. I work at a church on Sundays. It's cool. And Kyler would be like, yeah, man, like I serve on the media team, and like, I mean, it's pretty cool. And so one day I was brave enough and I said, Aaron, I think you should come to church tomorrow. And he said, okay. And
sometimes that's all it takes. People are like literally waiting to be asked.
Aaron's been serving ever since, and so I asked him recently. I said, "Hey, like when you started coming, you like didn't grow up religious. You didn't really have any religious beliefs. You weren't really interested. Like, how is that?" And he was like, "Actually, I really love Jesus, and like if you needed me to tell my story, I would." And so, Aaron's not here today, but maybe we'll have him tell his story. Thank you, Landon. The media team is cool.
Yeah,
give it up for these guys.
So cool.
There's no clapping because we're clapping for y'all.
Yeah, there's no one.
Anyway, I don't want us to undersell evangelism.
Yes.
I think it's so important. I think this series is so important. If you listen to a sermon and you're like, I can't remember what Mitchell said, go back and watch it on YouTube, on our podcast, our sermon podcast. This might be one of my favorite series we've done this year.
So you asked me to get some books from the library, and I got a little carried away with it. So we gotta move on to talking about the library because I'm excited.
That's fine. Well, did you?
I'm gonna evangelize about the library. Look at that segue. I didn't do it right away, but I did get to it.
You got there. Did you know that we have a library?
Yes, we have a library.
2, we have people who are really faithful to maintaining it, uploading the stuff in the database, all the things. So Roy, show us a few pics. While he's grabbing that, I want to tell you that it is on the ground floor of our building.
Yes. So there's some good like sociology books in there. This is The Righteous Mind by Jonathan Haidt.
Okay.
And in that book, he talks about, I put a little bookmark in there, but we don't have time to.
It's not like a YouTube vlog. I don't
no,
need
that
to
doesn't
hold
work.
it up.
He talks about how conservatives and liberals come at morality from different perspectives, and that's why it's hard to communicate. So conservatives value sanctity and authority much higher, and that's why liberals are like, well, why do you care about tradition? And conservatives like, it's a moral thing. It's really interesting. There are some good Christian authors. Brian McLaren, Generous Orthodoxy is a good one. You don't need to hold them all. I set them over here.
Okay, give us 2 more, and then we got to move on.
Henry, we have more time than that. I get all these books for you. Henry Nouwen's really good. Return of the Prodigal Son is a really interesting book. Scott Jones is not our favorite person in the world because he left the United Methodist Church, but this book is actually a really good book about Methodist doctrine. This is a book titled Mom, I'm Gay, which I only got because it was a funny
The subtitle is Loving Your LGBTQ Child and Strengthen Your
That's
Faith.
more interesting, but Mom, if you're watching, I'm gay. So there are also some social books in there. This is a book called Caste by Isabel Wilkerson about how black people are viewed as a lower social caste. So even if when black people achieve maybe like equal economic parity, just instinctively we've all been trained, white, black, brown, everyone in this country, to view black people as a lower caste. Yeah. And it's a really interesting book. This is a book called The Accommodation by Jim Schutz, which is about history of racism in Dallas, which is really interesting. And this is the book that I put in the library called Paved Paradise, about parking and how parking explains the world, because I really like land use policy. Those are all sorts of things that you can find in the library. There's a website where you can actually look up what's in the library. I'll put it in the description for the episode.
Yes.
You're going to upload the episode first, so here it is. You're going to put that in the description. And just know that you can check books out. You can also, they want you to donate books. So if you have books at home, they have plenty of library shelf for you to donate books. They're building a fiction section and a children's section that are not fully fleshed out yet. So that's about the library. Look at that.
Beautiful in less than 10 minutes.
I got excited, okay?
I know. Well, I'm just going to go through like the tiniest information about upcoming events. First, I want to remind you that there is a Lunch and Learn on September 29th about what's coming up on the Dallas City ballot. Everybody should vote. We don't care how you vote, as long as you are voting. That is your job. And register for lunch, and Bethany Erickson will be talking to us about what's going to affect the city of Dallas. Mm-hmm. On October 6th, we have a Goodrich Gallery Meet the Artists. I think there are a couple. I noticed today that they have the same last name, so they're either related by siblings or mother, son.
You'll have to come to the Meet the Artist on October 6th to find out.
Meet them. I love when new art goes up in the gallery. It's going to be beautiful. The third one is John Bryant, who's our Perkins intern this year. He is leading a study called Companions in Christ. It's really going to be a journey.
A journey.
Because it's from October to April, but it will be intentional time of deep study. It'll be really good, I think.
If you feel like you don't know like you know some about the Bible, but you really want like a much deeper, meatier knowledge, this is the thing to get involved with.
And then last thing I have for you is that there's a parents' night out. Bring your kids from, I think it's from infant through 6th grade,
Sure.
On a Friday night, and you and your spouse or you by yourself go have some time to yourself. Have a date night. Go out with friends. Go sit at home by yourself if you just need some reprieve.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great opportunity for your kids to be involved in the community here.
If you love your kids, bring them to Parents' Night Out. They'll have a great time. If you hate your kids, bring them to Parents' Night Out, and you'll forget about them for a little bit. That's my pitch.
That's all we have. Thank you so much for joining us live. We're so grateful for your comments.
You hear that?
Let's worship together.
You hear that?
Yeah.
I don't think you do hear it. You're
It's
kind of
the
looking
organ.
at me. Okay. You kind of looked at me like this blank stare that you
sorry.
like didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, service is starting. Thank you so much for joining us.